Start. Alcohol. For most people, alcohol represents a good time with friends, a calming, relaxing feeling that brings a sense of fulfillment. For these people, alcohol is a nice addition to their lives that can be controlled and enjoyed. For some people, however, alcohol represents a loss of control. For these people, alcohol, although fun at some point, it turned ugly and created disastrous results. One such person, named Bill Wilson, was among the unfortunate few. His addiction to alcohol led him to hospitals and institutions to try and deal with this problem. He continued to struggle with his alcoholism until he met up with Dr. Bob Smith. A practicing physician with a serious alcohol problem of his own, Smith had lived through many of the same horrors with alcohol that Bill had also experienced. Sharing their experiences with one another and applying certain principles about higher powers and admission of truth, these men began to pool together their resources, and they were staying sober in the process. Culminating their success, they decided to put their stories into print. In 1939, the book Alcoholics Anonymous was published. This book is broken up into different sections that outline how an alcoholic can stay sober and recover from alcoholism. The section with most importance to recovery from alcoholism can be found in the chapter entitled How It Works. In this chapter, the 12 steps of recovery are laid out. This 12-step recovery process has been used by other groups to tackle such issues as drug addiction, gambling, and overeating, to name a few. The section with the most importance, I already said that. Let's take a look at the 12 steps and see what they mean and what they intend to do for the person taking them. Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and their lives had become unmanageable. In the first step, this is an admission of truth. The person working the steps has to admit to their innermost self that when they take a drink, they have no control over how much or where it will take them. Step 2, came to believe the power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. In this step, you are suggested to start to find a higher power. This higher power can be individualized to each person working the steps. Step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. In this step, you are suggested to start acting as your newfound higher power would have you act. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. In this step, you are to write out all of your resentments, character defects, secrets, and fears. The key in this step is to be complete and honest. Step 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. In this step, you seek out another individual and talk about the things that you wrote down in the previous step. Although these steps are very challenging, they are essential if one is to recover from alcoholism. Step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. In this step, you are suggested to turn to this higher power and be ready for it to take away the things that you have omitted in the previous steps. 7, humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. In this step, you're asked to actually ask this higher power to relieve you of those things that you have talked about and written in the previous steps. Step 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. This is a straightforward step that simply says, made a list of people you hurt and that you're willing to make amends for the wrongs that you have done. Step 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. In this step, you take your list from step 8 and you seek out these people and make amends, whether it be financial or admitting fault. This step requires a lot of courage and strength to complete. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. This is like a mini fifth step. It allows the person working the steps to clear up the wreckage of their present so that it doesn't accumulate and cause problems in the future. Step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him. In this step, you're asked to find this higher power that has brought you to this point and acquire a better relationship with it. And the final step, 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to other alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. The final step of recovery asks us to be ready and willing to help other alcoholics in need. This step has no end. One way to ensure one's sobriety is to be available whenever a still suffering alcoholic reaches out. The steps, if taken in order, have the ability to radically change your life. If you know someone who is an alcoholic, or if you've had one too many yourself and are looking for something better, this 12-step recovery process has the ability to change your life. Thank you.